All right, today we're tackling a question that's, well, timeless. When you need something from someone powerful, what's the best way to ask for it? Now, you might think you know the answer, but your instincts, they could be leading you down a really dangerous path. Let's find out why.
So let's just dive right in, right? We've all been in that spot, needing a favor from a boss, a colleague, maybe an important ally. And in that one moment, you face this really critical choice about how you're going to frame your request.
And that choice really boils down to two very different paths. On the one hand, you can go for the heartstrings, right? Appeal to their sense of mercy, their gratitude, remind them of how you helped them out in the past, or just appeal to their better nature. But on the other hand, you can go straight for their self-interest. You show them exactly what they get out of it. And as we're about to see, one of these is just way more reliable. And the other? Well, the other can be downright deadly. To really get a feel for the stakes here, let's start with a story. We're going back to 14th century Italy for a pretty powerful and honestly a kind of grim warning.
Okay, so take a look at this timeline. It shows the super quick downfall of this really influential family, the Poggios. These guys were basically kingmakers. They helped this ruthless soldier, a guy named Castruccio Castracani, seize power in their city. But then, Castruccio starts ignoring them. So what happens? The younger members of the family, they get fed up and launch a rebellion. An elder, Stefano, he steps in to try and prevent a total bloodbath. He stops the fighting, thinking, hey, I can reason with Castruccio. I'll appeal to his good nature. And just like that, the entire family's fate is resting on this one single plea.
And just listen to the words Stefano uses. It's all about mercy, generosity, doing the just thing. He's basically reminding Castruccio of everything his family did for him in the past. He's saying, hey, you owe us. Do the right thing. It's a textbook appeal to gratitude.
And you know what? At first, it totally seemed like it worked. Castruccio just listened patiently, not a hint of anger. He even thanked Stefano for stopping the rebellion and promised justice will be done. He even invited the entire Poggio family to his palace to talk things over.
Yeah, but it was all a trap. The second they were inside his palace, Castruccio had every single one of them arrested. And within just a few days, the entire family was executed, including Stefano, the guy who tried to make peace. And this right here is the fatal flaw in appealing to gratitude. Reminding someone of a favor you did for them, it can feel like you're reminding them of a debt. And in this case, Castruccio decided the easiest way to clear that debt was to, well, eliminate it permanently.
Okay, so that was pretty brutal. Now let's switch gears and jump over to ancient Greece for a completely different story with a totally different outcome. This one shows us a much, much more effective strategy when the stakes are just as high.
So, picture this. It's 433 BC. A massive war is about to break out. Two different city-states show up in Athens asking for an alliance. First up is Corinth, an old friend. And their plea? It's all emotional, right? It's about past loyalty, gratitude, don't abandon us. Then Corcyra walks in, and they're just brutally honest. They're like, look, we've never been friends. Let's be real. But then they make this pure business proposition. We have the second largest navy in all of Greece. You ally with us, and together, our combined power will be enough to intimidate your biggest rival, Sparta. No emotion, just pure strategy.
So what happened? The result wasn't even close. After debating both offers, the Athenians voted, and it was a total landslide. They overwhelmingly chose the alliance with Corcyra, the one that wasn't based on feelings from the past, but on a crystal-clear future strategic advantage.
See, the Athenians were the great realists of the ancient world. They had no time for sentiment. All this talk about past generosity, it just kind of annoyed them. It felt like someone was reminding them they owed a debt. They didn't punish Corinth for trying the emotional appeal, but they absolutely ignored it in favor of their own cold, hard self-interest.
So why does this work so consistently? Why is appealing to self-interest so much more effective? Let's kind of unpack the psychology behind this really powerful principle.
The philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer just hit the nail on the head with this one. The hard truth of it is that pretty much everyone, I don't care if you're the intern or the CEO, is kind of trapped inside their own little world. They're focused on their needs, their problems, and their desires. Let's look at an absolute masterclass in this from history. When Genghis Khan conquered China, his plan was to just level all the cities to create more pasture for his horses. Crazy, right? But his advisor, a guy named Yelu Chutsai, knew that pleading for culture and history was totally useless. Khan was a barbarian. All he cared about was wealth and practical gain. So the advisor didn't talk about mercy or saving history. He talked about profit. He actually convinced Khan that taxing the cities and using their skilled artisans would bring in way more riches than just destroying them. This appeal to pure, unadulterated greed saved countless lives.
And what that advisor did was essentially a perfect act of translation. He understood that to get what he wanted, to save the cities, he had to frame it in the language his boss understood. And that's the whole game. You have to take what you need and figure out how to reframe it as something that solves a problem or creates an advantage for them. It is all about seeing the world through their eyes.
Okay, so right about now, you're probably thinking, is this rule absolute? Is it always a bad idea to appeal to someone's better nature? And the answer is not quite. There are some very specific times when it's actually the right move. Look, if the person you're asking actually gains something from the act of being charitable, then yeah, you should absolutely appeal to that. Some people are just motivated by the desire to feel powerful or to look good in public. They genuinely get satisfaction from showing off their good heart. And in those cases, their self-interest is looking noble. It's one and the same.
So at the end of the day, the key is emotional intelligence. Before you ask for a single thing, you have to diagnose what truly motivates the person you're dealing with. If they get a kick out of appearing noble, give them that chance to perform their charity. If all they care about is the bottom line, you better be ready to show them the profit.
So, what's the one thing you should really take away from all of this? Well, it all comes down to a really powerful and practical metaphor.
This right here, this is the entire lesson in one single image. Think of your request like you're handing someone a rope. The rope of gratitude? It's frayed, it's weak, it's going to snap under the slightest pressure. But the rope of mutual self-interest? Now that's different. It's woven from a bunch of strong fibers, your interests and their interests, all twisted together. It's durable, it's reliable, and it will bind you to your allies way more effectively than just about anything else.
And listen, this isn't some new, cynical idea. The French writer Jean de La Bruyere understood this perfectly, and that was way back in the 17th century. If you can make it crystal clear how helping you actually helps them, you're going to find that doors start opening up for you everywhere.
So this is the question I want to leave you with. Understanding this difference, this isn't just some dusty history lesson. It's a real practical tool for your career, for your life. The next time you need help, which rope are you going to use? Because believe me, that choice can be the difference between getting what you want and total failure.